Hey everybody, this is Ashley. I'm here for Bluntiq, and this is the segment I like to call Peep This, which is where we highlight indie and underground artists from all over. And today I have with me Hadassah.
Hi.
And she's just going to tell you a little bit about herself, and then we'll jump into some questions.
Supreme one, you say, come to me this way. So I'm Hadassah. I literally just turned 24 like 5 days ago.
Nice. Happy belated.
Thank you. So I'm a Sag. But yeah, I'm a soul, I guess R&B experimental singer. So yeah, that's me.
Awesome. So you just put out a new single called He Said.
Yeah.
Correct? Okay, so just tell me a little bit about that. Where your head was, what you were feeling, and what part about that.
So I wrote it maybe like 8 months ago. I was going through like a really crazy relationship situation, and the song was just basically about him not staying true to what he said. And just kind of being a fool sometimes in love. And I feel like a lot of people have been there. And it was kind of, the song was kind of me talking to other women who've been there. So,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, we need that, definitely.
Yeah.
It's, a lot of times we see like other women kind of like coming for other women for being in these certain positions.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's hard. Like you said,
Right.
you're kind of blinded by how you feel.
And it's a journey, and I feel like it's not something to be embarrassed about.
Right. Yeah, like we all go through that. We all have feelings and emotions and stuff. We're all
Yeah.
complex. So
Yeah.
I definitely feel that. So let's backtrack a little bit. I was speaking with your publicist, and he said that a lot of your music came from kind of a family tragedy. If you don't mind speaking on that, kind of just tell how that like influenced you, and maybe that was the push to get you really working on music.
So prior to that, I had put out 2 projects, but that project, I did take it a lot more serious. And it's called Oakmere Drive. So when my mom passed away, I just felt like the project needed to be just kind of something to take me back to when she was here. And Oakmere Drive is the street I grew up on.
Okay.
So yeah, it's just it was just kind of the song was the EP was basically kind of the story of where I was mentally there, because that was a major transition in my life, and me trying to like stay strong.
Right.
Yeah, and the song, like specifically the song Soldier, was just like me kind of talking to my mom and saying that I'll be okay like without you here.
Right.
And yeah, it was
Yeah.
it definitely helped me heal.
That's good. That's good. And from a lot of hurt, some greatness can occur. And I was listening to Oakmere Drive on the way here, actually, and I was just looking at like the song titles and stuff, and I found them to be very interesting, like Heaven's Basement, right? So can you explain to me like why you named that song Heaven's Basement, and like what that means? Because I feel like that's kind of it's a statement, like. Heaven's Basement doesn't necessarily sound like hell, but it doesn't sound like heaven either. Yeah. So I wanted you to...
Yeah, so I feel like, that's literally spot on. So
cool.
It's kind of like about, I feel like a lot of times in life we're being asked to live in heaven's basement. Like for example, like my family wanted me to be a lawyer. That's a great job. You'll be able to have a stable life, right. Maybe even better than stable. But if that's not your passion, you're not in hell because you're okay, but you're not in heaven. Like you're not. It was just me deciding to not be in heaven's basement, to make the decision to pursue what I love and try to get to heaven. Yeah.
Okay, and then another track was God's Bathroom Floor, right? That was interesting too. So I was like, well, what does that mean? Like, because I was like kind of racking my brain. I was like, well, I have to ask her about this.
Yeah.
So explain that a little bit for
That's
us.
an interesting one. I'm still not 100% sure, because I write very stream of conscious, but it was basically because the lyrics are, I'm still on God's bathroom floor, trying to latch on to sorrow. So it's kind of the same thing. Like being close close to heaven or close to what's good,
right?
But not being there. Yeah.
Right.
And the battle between latching onto sorrow or not doing what you love and pursuing what you love, doing what you need to do to be happy. So it's kind of that tilting thing again.
Yeah, that's definitely a precarious kind of balance, and especially like you were saying at a time where a major transition, you had a major loss. So it's like, now what am I doing? Like, I don't necessarily have guidance. Like, I'm like, okay,
I'm an adult now.
Right.
What you gonna do?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
But it's great to see that you've been able to make music out of that and continue on, and you know, you're smiling and laughing, so that's always good. And I know it's not easy, but I think that's amazing. And so I just want to talk about your sound more so, just as far as production and everything. What do you look for? You know, when you're searching for beats, do you make your own beats, or do you
no,
or do you have somebody or a few producers that like you hit up all the time, like, I got an idea for a song? Or
so that's been an interesting journey, because I literally just what I was doing for most of these projects was just going on YouTube and like finding things that I liked the way it sounded, and then like I'm not actually sure if I can use a beat until I actually try and like try to write to it. So then if I like it, then I take it and, you know, buy it. But I have noticed throughout doing that, I tend to go back to the same producers. And I just recently got in communication with Bluntiq Beats.
Okay.
They're the producers for the song Fool For You. I don't know if you've heard that. Visions, and a couple of other tracks that I have. So now I'm kind of moving into the space of like actually working with producers, not just taking it off
right.
but growth, like, you know.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Part of the journey.
That's awesome, because then it helps you to kind of hone in on like what really you're trying to like sound like.
Yeah. Not
even just lyrically, but literally sonically. Like, what are you trying to sound like? So then my next question is, you know, who are some of your musical influences?
Oh, I love that question. It's tons of people. I mean, I feel like vocally, I grew up only listening to, like, until I was like in middle school, I grew up only listening to Christian music. So I missed like a lot of the 90s music because my mom was like, no secular music in the house. But when the type of music she did allow was like Luther Vandross, like Earth, Wind and Fire, Shaka Khan. But then when I finally like got to like dive into music, it was like Amy Winehouse, Erykah Badu, of course, India.Arie. And I just like love UK singers, like the way they sing. Their
voices are like just something else.
I don't know what it is.
I couldn't pinpoint it either, but it's just something. And it's funny that you say that, because as I was listening, I was like, oh, this kind of reminds me of Amy, and like kind of reminds me of Erykah a little, and like just kind of all of that, like soulful, but like you said, alternative too. Like it's very dreamy. Like
I love folk, so I feel sometimes, I don't know, maybe I do pull that, maybe I don't. I love folk music too.
So, you know, I've seen this. I've spoken to a few different artists, like from my hometown, New Haven, and a few other cities in Connecticut, and a lot of the time, that's kind of the influence that they've had in the house was mainly Christian first, and then as they got older, they were able to branch out. Do you think that it hindered you in any way, or were you still able to, you know, find your own sound and create your own sound?
I was definitely able to find my own sound. I think that it did hinder me in regards to like confidence and like pursuing music. It took me a while to be confident in what I'm still working on that. It took me a while to like really come into that. But in terms of sound, no, I think that like when I was finally able to like find what I love, I found it. And I was like able to like just absorb it. Yeah,
that's awesome. So when it comes to like writing your music, you said you're a stream of conscious kind of writer. I'm the same way. Like I write in my journal all the time, just like on the paper. How do you? I guess like. Is there something that triggers you to write, or do you just like hear something and you want to write, or is it like a very like deep kind of feeling that has to happen, and then you start writing.
So I literally tried to explain this to somebody a few days ago. I don't think they understood. But it's literally a deep feeling. Like, okay, it's two things. Sometimes I'll be listening to something and I'm just like, whoa, this is amazing, and I just get a feeling that I need to write, like, off of being inspired by somebody else's music. But most of the time I just get a feeling, and I'm just like, okay, I need to sit down, I need to write.
Like, release.
Right? Yeah. It's like, I feel heavy, I guess. Maybe might be the word.
No, I understand. Yeah, absolutely. I get that. And so then what's the selection process like when you're creating a project? How do you, I don't know how many songs you would write per project, but, you know, when you're working on one, how do you select, like, okay, this is going to be here and that and that?
So, this last project, so it's 13 songs that I'm finished with, but it was maybe double that. We had to, like, chop it down, and it's the way I guess I decide that is based off of how much I love this song. Like, if I can't stop listening to it, then that'll be a song I keep. I think that's kind of how I make that decision. And then sometimes I'll ask my friends what they're in love with, and if people are really, like, if I keep hearing that people are in love with a certain song, then I'll be like, okay, that probably should stay, even if I don't love it so much. But yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I guess my last question for you is, you know, how a lot of people have said that, like, R&B has been taking, like, a weird, like, turn. Some people have been saying it's, like, dying, whatever the case may be. How do you feel about the state of R&B right now? How do you feel about your place in R&B? And I guess what do you wish to see happening within the genre itself and then within yourself?
I love it. I love where R&B is going. Like, I so love it. I feel like we're accepting weird voices now. Like, we're accepting, weird voices. Like, people are just able to be. Literally just be, and I love it.
And I don't know if you have anything else you want to say or share. Anybody want to shout out?
Oh,
definitely.
Of course, I want to shout out Angie. Angie. Angie.
Thank you.
Yeah, my sister, of course. Yeah, that's about it.
Awesome. Alright guys, this was Peep This with Hadassah. My name is Ashley. You can find this on Bluntiq soon. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I hope to catch you the next time.
Bye.